Oh, speaking about 49ers.
There we go. Okay, we're actually going now.
All right, I'll wait.
No, talk to them. What are you doing? They were so alone
No.
without you.
It was
Okay.
only those 5 seconds.
We're not live this time, so I have to say the intro right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crack a Cold Ones podcast, where a couple of guys are going to enjoy some recently opened chilled beverages and pretend like we know what we're talking about. I'm guy number 1, Grayson.
I'm guy number 3, Jaime.
Weren't you guy number 2?
Well, our guy number 2 isn't here today.
No, he's guy number 2. Guy number 3's not here today, and let's crack into it.
Yeah, let's crack into it before I get confused.
Hell yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Kyle could not make it, so we're back to the dynamic duo. Your original 2. Oh, I thought you were about to holster that shit. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm not supposed to swear yet. It's fine. What's monetization? We don't even do that yet. How you doing, Jaime?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Living my best life. Living the dream, even, if you will. So we got preseason football. I'm not going to pretend like I care that much, but I love football, so I care about football being back. I hope you guys can't hear the dogs barking.
We'll edit it out.
For sure.
If all of y'all are not watching preseason, you're not fans.
That's true. Kind of. I don't watch that much preseason. So hear me out. I really like to watch it at the very start because I'm just desperate for football. And I'll watch just about any of the games in the first couple of quarters. But once we get to third quarter, fifth string, and it's just like bad football. It's not even like college games where it's like you can see glimmers of hope and some of the plays are interesting and stuff. It's like everybody just looks like they don't know what they're doing, and the coaches are like talking to people in the stands instead of calling plays. Like, I just can't care. You know, it's mostly just a way to test if so-and-so can be the backup to the backup once we get to that point. You don't want to injure anybody. But the real drives, for sure, we get to see a lot of new coaches. I did take some notes on a couple of teams that had some starters in or some, like, interesting backups like J.J. McCarthy and stuff like that. So there was some stuff worth talking about.
Yeah, there was some stuff. We did have that game about the Hall of Famers.
True.
I mean, that was a thing. We had... I mean, it's a lot of different stuff when it comes to preseason. It's just not the like announcements, who's coming in, who's coming out, college, who's doing well, especially from all those draft picks.
True. I do like when we get to actually see some of the draft, like early draft players of interest and stuff like that. Mendoza, that was a big one. Jeremiah Love, I believe, got injured pretty quick. Nothing like super dangerous or something, but not what you like to see in their first NFL field, not even a real game, but like a pretend game. But we'll start with something not so positive. Unfortunately, Dolly Parton has passed. I'm gonna be honest here, that one hit me really hard. I don't know, like, not a super big football thing, but just like, damn, dude, that's crazy. I know she was 80 years old, unfortunately lost a battle with cancer. Her husband Carl was a big Cowboys fan, so Dolly Parton was pretty attached to Cowboys lore and all that, but really it's just like, I don't know, that's an icon, dude, for every aspect of the world. So I feel like we had to bring it up at least.
Of course, her genre of music touched everybody, and Texas being, it fits right in, country and the rodeo and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, she'll be missed. Like you said, she was 80 years old. The last thing I've heard before this news is that she was on tour, or she was doing some shows, and then she had to cut it short. I think she made it into she had to cancel because she just wasn't feeling right. And yeah, it is sad. I'm not trying to get teary eyed because
she's just a big. That's a literal icon, like one of them ones. When I heard about that, I was like, there is truly no way, dude. Like, that's just a figure of my entire life. She's been a major person, through the whole time, and just such a good, positive person from everything that I've ever seen about her. Obviously, I don't know her personally, but I've never seen a negative thing about her. She always seemed like a super kind, genuine person. So rest in peace. Hope her family's doing all right, and that's about all I got.
Keep them in your prayers. We love y'all. We love her. Hopefully they're doing okay, and rest in peace, and we'll miss you.
Amen.
Amen.
In just as negative news, Deshaun Watson
Oh,
was named as the starter for the Browns. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off about it. I don't know. Have you looked into it much? Did you see like his drives and stuff like that, his press conferences?
So the press conference is he's just pretty much saying that everybody hates him because
Because
they
we do.
yeah, they just don't like him. It's like he's making it a personal thing, or he thinks it's a personal thing. Like, yeah, we don't want him here for such reasons. But in actuality, they don't. They're booing him and they're hating on him because he sucks at football.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. The dude is a certified piece of shit. There were enough allegations that even though I don't think any of them stuck, I'm gonna stand on like not a good dude.
Yeah.
But all that aside, we've seen plenty of terrible people thrive in the NFL. Like, he hasn't really had much scrutiny from the NFL proper, just from like, fans and stuff like that. And most of the time that he's been booed, he has also been playing really bad football. I think if he was playing really, really well and he was doing like miracle runs of, taking the Browns to the playoffs and stuff like that, people would probably not dislike him as much as they do, which is not a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it shouldn't be like that. But let's just be honest here. If he was like really thriving on the football field, I feel like people would have forgiven him a while ago. So the whole like it's all personal. Yes, I don't like him because of the personals, but I also think he sucks at quarterbacking as of the last couple of years. So in general, I just don't think he should be starting for any team. And you don't get to cry like that when you have a $250 million guaranteed contract and you've played like 20 games or something over the last few years. That's just crazy work.
Yeah. It's insane, especially after leaving the Texans on a high note, I think. Oh, before that whole.
Yeah, I mean, pre-scandal, when he was on the Texans, he was looking like a really strong quarterback, like a top 10 perennial quarterback. We dropped him mostly for the extracurriculars, but since he got to the Browns, he had like one pretty good season, and then he's just been riddled with injuries since. He has not played well for years. And the play that they were booing him on, he threw it into the dirt like 3 yards ahead of him and just like gave up the play and just had an awful drive. He looked terrible the entire time. So yeah, when everybody just in general doesn't like you and you're playing really bad football, like they're gonna boo you. Him tearing up on the press conference is just like unacceptable to me. I'm blown away by the Browns like actually picking him as the starter after all of that.
Yeah. Post extracurricular activities. He was averaging around 4,000 yards or something like that for that season. He played, what was it, 2022, 2020,
something like that.
Yeah, for the Texans. Now he's barely going above 1,000. I looked it up because I was just curious. Davis Mills, our backup quarterback, for those 3 games last year, he averaged a little bit over 900 yards. He's that close to catching up to Deshaun Watson. I think he played 8 games last season.
Yeah,
so
he's been riddled with injuries for sure. So like, I know that plays a big part into why his stats are bad. But even when he's on the field, he doesn't look good. And the Browns have a lot of problems, but I don't think Deshaun Watson has looked like he's gonna fix any of those. And it doesn't help that right after he has that terrible drive, Shador comes out there, goes 6 for 6, looks great. I don't think Shador is an incredible quarterback either, but I easily would have picked him over Deshaun for PR value, if nothing else, and the fact that he's just looking like he has more potential than Deshaun Watson does right now. Like, I have more faith in him than I do Watson.
Yeah, even before preseason, it seemed like Shador was going to pick up the mantle.
Yeah.
And whenever Deshaun Watson's name came up, I was like, they were like, oh, he's getting better or whatever. I'm like, really? And then I don't know what that says about Shador Sanders, because at the end of the day, they still chose.
Yeah, the fact
Deshaun
that they picked
Massage
him,
Watson.
I just caught what you said. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the fact that they did that after the press conference that he just really made a muck of, crying into his guaranteed money. Like, I cannot believe it. You're just not going to have any fans in the stadium. Like, this is one of the most loyal fan bases in football. They've been through so much, and they still won't give up. And then now you're doing this shit to them. It's just like, God, you are so out of touch with your fans. It's insane. Like, I feel like most Browns fans would rather lose more games and have Shador Sanders out there than have like a middling season with Deshaun Watson, and I just don't get it. I truly don't.
Yeah, he just has an attitude problem. He just doesn't care, and they just need to get him out. Just stick with Shador Sanders at this point because he clearly doesn't want to play. And yeah, let's just move on. Already annoying.
The Texans made a big trade. We traded Jalen Reed and a
Patriots.
7th-round pick in 2028
No.
for forget his first name, Booty, from the Patriots.
Is that his last name?
That's his last name. I don't remember his first. I think it's Kayvon.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I apologize, but yeah, one of
Keon Booty.
One of those. But I actually love this trade. I feel like we stole Booty like a pirate. Like I actually think he is a really good, strong, like deep wide receiver. He had quite a big impact on that Patriots offense at different moments in the season. And to just grab him for like a backup piece on that incredible defense the Texans have, I think is an absolute steal. The wide receiver core definitely needs some love, so getting just a solid target for the backfield, I absolutely love it. Plus, he burned Derek Stingley in the playoffs, so now the one guy that Stingley couldn't cover is on our team. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I can't wait to. We did need a wide receiver, especially after what's his name's injury during the preseason. Or we'll probably get into that later. But yeah,
I don't even remember. I didn't know we had a wide receiver injury.
Yeah, we lost our I forgot his name. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot his name. But our wide receiver.
We'll find it. Injured. But yeah, in general, I think our wide receiver room has been tough. We just don't have that many. We have some like up and coming players that could be great targets, but I think just having a strong like deep threat. He's not going to have a huge impact on every play. That's what it was for the Patriots at least. He basically just scored touchdowns as like a surprise catcher in the backfield. And I love that. I feel like that's a great threat. Nico Collins is so good at like weaving into traffic and just catching everything. And we got a couple of second-year players that are looking pretty good as just like solid other options. I think this really clears up one of my bigger problems with the Texans offense right now. Plus, I feel like Stroud's getting his swag back just a little bit. The sauce is coming back a touch. So I have hope once again in my heart for our lovely offense.
Oh, yeah, I could just see it right there. Oh, I can't wait till we get this going because we get to see the Texans. We get to see the defense. That's pretty much the same defense.
Even that's better, honestly.
Yeah, with a little bit of improvements here and there. And then our offense better than it was. Well, it's getting there, yeah, better than it was last season for sure. CJ Stroud, please.
Please, CJ Stroud. I think if CJ can play...
I need a B- from you, bro.
Exactly. If he can be the 16th best quarterback in the NFL, this is a Super Bowl team. Like, he just needs to not throw picks. And that's pretty much it. That's all I need from him. I'd rather we punt the ball away every time than him throw picks. That's all I want. What other stuff we're going to talk about? A new study of CTE shows 25% of players in the sample had it. That honestly doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give some credit. I feel like with the big helmets, like they're trying to work on the concussion problem, but ultimately it's just kind of a problem with the sport. I don't know that you fix it ever.
Yeah, I mean, there's rules now and regulations so head-to-head contact isn't a thing, but it's like it can't be avoided. It happens in practice, it happens in preseason, it happens during the season, it even happens after. It even happens like while they're training.
Yeah,
and it's common for these guys to get this type of stuff because it's their job. They do that every weekend, every week. They're butting heads against somebody and. Yeah, it's just it sucks. It sucks for them because in their later years, because either it affects them like when they're older, or it affects them during the game, and then retirement's like around the corner within a few years of just playing. So,
and not to dismiss it as like a non-problem, I don't know how much can reasonably be done. Like they put so much effort and money into the technology of the helmets to try to make it as safe as possible. There's so many more rules around like trying to prevent head injuries. Anytime a quarterback even like dings their head a little bit on the turf, they'll put them in the blue tent. Like they're really trying to make some of these things better. I don't think it's ever going away fully. Like it's just the nature of the sport. Unless you fully prevent them from using their heads, as like they gotta stand back and like keep their heads away from ever contacting anything, and that's just not gonna happen. So it just kind of is what it is. All we can do is like keep the path we're on. Low key.
It just comes with the sport.
Yeah.
You just gotta be careful.
The Niners owner was arrested. I did not see too much about this, and this is the owner, the old person. I'm assuming. You got a little more?
No, I wasn't able to dig into this one. All I know is that he got caught in a trailer park for paying for $149 worth of, escort.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Damn.
For $150, he went to a multi-billionaire went to jail.
Interesting. Hey, maybe this country's turning around. We'll even arrest rich people for dumb shit. I mean,
he's at 49ers now. The 49ers can focus on something else.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know much about it, so I don't want to talk too much about something I can't speak intelligently about. But if you did something bad, shame on you. If you did something really bad, then like fuck you. And he's an owner, so I don't think this will impact the team literally in any way.
Yeah.
College football rankings. I should have looked into this notes more. I just read it once. I don't know what that means. Oh, probably like the starting rankings going into the season or whatever. I didn't look at them, so I can't really speak to it.
Is Indiana still on top?
Is what?
Indiana still on top?
Probably
for what I see.
Are they still? Did you see?
They're doing. I don't know. I didn't get to.
I don't feel like the championship team always gets the first spot, and because they've historically not been as good, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start number one or whatever. But college rankings are kind of weird, so I don't put an absolute ton of stock into them. There's a whole lot of like voting and weirdness that gets into it. It's halfway popularity contest, halfway just winning a bunch of games.
Yeah, a lot of voting, a lot of political. It's almost like you're walking into Congress and you just kind of
basically.
It's a whole. There's different sides of getting involved. It's a little bit more complicated than the NFL.
Yeah,
because you got money, and then you got like parents, and then you got
like all the donors, and then they put a lot of emphasis on like strength of schedule. So you can be completely flawless, no losses, but if you're playing against like other teams on your level and you're not that good, then it just doesn't count for very much, and you still won't make the playoffs. Like the whole thing is very complicated, and it's not my favorite part of college football. Honestly, I can't stand it because it's so hard to follow a lot of the time. But it's a politics game, like most things in life.
But put your college down in the comments and
name a college.
Name a college you know. Name a college in your city. I dare you.
Name any college.
Name a college.
Just write college in the comments.
College University.
University of College Campus. Some injuries. It sounds like George Kittle for the Niners they always say that they're ahead of schedule and all that. But it's looking like he's going to potentially be back by start of season. They've already had so many injuries on that team with the power plan and all. Like I think 30% of the roster's already been injured in the preseason and in training. So they'll need him, and I once again think that this old man roster is just not going to be able to cut it this year, which is just that's what happens when you keep doing this. But what do I know? I guess
they need to pick up and move somewhere else. They need to take a page from
SpongeBob.
Yes.
What if we took Bikini Bottom and we put it over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Jaden Higgins for the Texans. Sounds like he got injured. Hopefully it's not bad.
That guy.
Definitely not like a major piece on that offense, but
he's out for the season. But hopefully he has a speedy recovery and doesn't have any complications. He comes back to us.
Yes,
one day
because that wide receiver room is looking a little light. We don't want Tank Dell to rush. Even outside of being a Texans fan, like just as a fan of human beings, like you don't want to see Tank Dell come back too soon and get re-injured. Like he has been through so much to try to get to a healthy point. So if they can just have enough men to like hit the field and look solid, I would much rather see Tank Dell take his time. But he's been practicing hard. It looks like he is like really doing well. So props to him, and hopefully Higgins comes back soon. One that I thought was very interesting. Ashton Genty got injured on Sunday, I believe, during practice with an ankle injury. They've already said that it's not looking like season-ending or anything, but it's a little spotty on the specifics for it. But this happened during a lot of people's fantasy drafts. So he went from being like arguably a first-round pick to like more commonly a second-round pick. He dropped down to, in a lot of leagues, like a sixth-round pick or just not drafted at all, which I just think is so interesting. Some people were stealing this man, and if he comes back like completely fine, then you got him in the sixth round, and he'll be like a tried and true running back for you. That's why it's tough doing these. There's never a perfect time to do a fantasy draft. Like I really like to do mine right in the middle or right after all the preseason games end. That way you kind of know where the injuries are at from preseason and like who's healthy, who you want to take, thinking they'll get healthy by the time the season starts, all of that. But having someone injured like during a draft is just fascinating to me. And hopefully he heals well. I'm not trying to just talk about him like he's a number. But yeah, from everything I've seen, it doesn't seem season ending or anything, but it's an ankle and he's a running back. So if it's even like a little spotty, then he could definitely miss some time.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a quick ice pack to the ankle and should be back walking like nothing.
Some steroids will probably be fine.
Ooh.
The new rivalry uniforms came out. We got AFC South and NFC North this year. I've seen about half of them. I really like most of the AFC South ones. What do you think? You actually looked at all of them. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. Let me just give it to you in a few words. The Texans one is the only one that's like unique. That's like completely like it's an homage. I'm assuming to the Oilers because it was their 25-year.
Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary of the Texans, so it makes sense to do like a throwback thing.
Yeah, they're the only ones that's kind of like an homage, like something completely different. Everybody else's uniform is either like the colors swapped or like the original colors just kind of like cranked to 11.
Yeah, that's what I saw for the Jags. It seemed like it was just their normal colors, but they like jacked it up. But those uniforms looked really good. I'm not a fan of the Texans ones. I respect it. It's cool. I like paying an homage, but it just looks like a Titans uniform, and I'm not a Titans fan. So it just doesn't do a lot for me, but it's cool. It's something you kind of got to do. I get it. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Doesn't come close to the actual Titans rivalries uniform.
Oh, yeah. Theirs look fantastic.
Yeah. Titan looks pretty sick. The colors and it just screams Titans. Just like I said, they just cranked it to 11. It just shines. And there's some like the Jaguars. All they got was like a gold
whatever
face mask and a couple. It was like gold here and there, but it was pretty much just the Jags regular outfit. The Colts, I like the gray instead of the white. It's gray, and then everything's just blue.
I kind of mess with that.
That's pretty sick.
That's pretty fire. I mean, we get these all the time.
Yeah.
It's cool, though. It's an excuse to get a new uni. I feel like we got way better ones on the Texans. I really like the Battle Red and some stuff like that. But, you always got to get some new merch out there. So you do what you do.
Yeah, who's picking up? Somebody pick me up one because
buy us things.
It's going to be tough.
Fifth-year eligibility. Some players are going back to college after getting cut from the NFL. So there was one example. I'm not remembering the team
Longhorns?
At the moment. Which one?
The Longhorns?
Oh, I don't know what college team he played for, but he was on he went to the draft, was picked up by a college team, and then he got cut during their training camp and everything. He didn't make the full roster, so he was eligible to go back to college and play another year in college. Just seems very interesting.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between everybody. Some people think it's fine. Some people don't like it. Some people just completely just hate it. Some people are some arguments are like, oh, it disrupts like the flow of the team that they already got. Now they got to introduce this guy who came back, and they got to figure out how to fit him back in. And some people just don't like it at all. Like once they're out, they're out. Like you can't bring them back in. That's not fair to the students already there.
Yeah, it definitely holds back. Like imagine you're like a freshman or a sophomore and you're really excited for your chance to play and you're going to like break into the roster, and then the guy that you were supposed to replace comes back. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
But I get it. if you're a college athlete, you've played for 4 years or whatever, you go to the NFL, you don't quite cut it, but you were good enough to get picked up by a team and all of that. You just weren't. You were like 10% off from being on the main roster. It makes sense to me to send them back down a level so that they have a chance to continue progressing, get better, and try again, and then maybe even like improve their draft stock or something along those lines versus just like sitting in the draft like at the free agency and never getting picked up and never having an opportunity, and they just go work at Kroger's or whatever. So I don't hate it, but I feel like we on the college level have just done so many steps to let these guys play for so long that we're going to have like 28-year-olds playing in college, and at a point like you gotta age them out. I feel like you can't have like a 30-year-old playing against a 20-year-old and tell me that it's like even Stevens. Like there's just so many things that you'll learn and you'll get bigger. You're not the same size as a human being 10 years younger. Like I don't love that side of it. I feel like this opens the door for people to stay even longer, but that's a problem that I think will eventually get addressed, and they'll just have like a flat out age cap of like, I don't care how much you red shirt and did all of the dotted the T's and crossed your eyes, like you can only play this long. We got to do that soon before it gets out of control. But like, I don't have an issue with this specifically, I guess. It's interesting though.
Yeah, cool, it is pretty interesting. I thought it was really cool how they just come back and then I don't know.
I'm back, bitch. Jaime, you ever played fantasy football?
Fantasy? No.
Never. Okay, so I've played fantasy football for a few years now. Definitely gotten pretty into it. We're going to talk about some people that you think are like interesting to pick up for fantasy. We'll do a more in-depth fantasy thing soon, I think. But this is just kind of like a for funsies, like people that you think are an interesting pickup, somebody that you think is a bad pickup. And since you haven't played before, and for our millions of viewers at home that maybe haven't tried it before, basically fantasy football is you're playing pretend with your dolls, and I love it. And basically how they perform in the game will give you points. All of your players put together gives you your max total of points for that week, and you're trying to get more points than the person you're playing against. So you'll have all these positions filled. It's all offense, and then you get one total defense. You don't have like individual players on defense, and you get a kicker. So for most leagues, so you'll have a quarterback, some running backs, some wide receivers, tight ends, flex, all of that. And generally, you want players that are getting the majority of the attention on their team, or they're just a really high quality player that produces a lot of yards and touchdowns and things like that. So a big tough thing in years past is like with running backs, a lot of these teams are going to like multiple running back offenses versus the like one workhorse back that does the majority of the work and gets a lot of the touchdowns. So you'll have like 2-3 guys that are all fighting for yards and touchdowns, and it makes it a lot harder to get a ton of points out of them in fantasy. You dig?
Okay. Yeah, it sounds very similar to fantasy soccer, which I do partake in that. But yeah, they give you like all the silhouettes, and you got to fill up all the positions, and then depending on who you think will perform like in the current year, so you just go down the list of like, oh, who do I want my wide receiver to be, and then you just pick somebody that you think could be good. You compare to like their last year's stats. You consider how they're doing now and how they're growing, and if they're growing or if they're just gonna stop. Injuries are
major for fantasy. If someone's out for the season, like you drafted Malik Neighbors last year, and I know one of the folks in my league drafted him in the first round, like third overall or something like that. Then he got injured 2 games into the year, so you're basically just out that pick. So injuries can play a huge part. The strength of schedule, the strength of the team. If you have a great player, but they just don't tend to produce a ton, or the opposite. Yeah. Some of these teams didn't do very well, but like Bijan Robinson had an insane year in fantasy because he just did everything for that team versus a lot of other players. So, and you know, there's matchup dependence and stuff like that. Even if you have an incredible running back, if he's just playing against a bunch of teams that are great against the run all year, then he's probably not going to produce that well. So there's so much math and thinking and analyzing that can go into like really making your team cohesive, and you can trade during the season and pick up people off free agency. I know I grabbed after the first week, I grabbed a few folks that just ended up like they had a great game that first week and slowly like made their way up the roster. Or like a Travion Henderson, I picked him up for cheap in free agency, and then he ends up being their workhorse back for a good few weeks and was like mass producing points. So you know you kind of have to be up to date with it as well. But the fun part of fantasy for me, especially at this stage before you've done your draft, is your players that aren't like you know some of these guys are going to do well. Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, I'm naming all running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb, all these players that like they're going to perform. Puka. But then it's really the interesting grabs that you get in like a third round where it's like you didn't really think that person necessarily would be that good, is the general consensus. But then you're kind of like, oh no, I see it. I see the vision. They've been getting better. Their schedule's weaker, and the team has gotten better. So I think they're going to have a really big blow-up year where they just pop off. Or like so-and-so's injured. Whoever the backup tight end is for the Niners that's, behind Kittle, maybe they're going to have a really great year because they scheme for a Kittle, and if someone can take that spot, then they're going to have the same kind of performance that George Kittle does. So those are the really interesting picks. So now that I've yelled at you about fantasy for 25 minutes straight, give me some hot takes, some people that you think might be better or worse than you might expect.
Shador Sanders is probably one of them.
Low key, I do agree. I feel like Deshaun will not start the whole season either because of injury or just getting replaced. So I feel like Shador could be like a fun. You don't pick him up early, but you could maybe just grab him as like, I think he will end up playing more than you'd expect.
Yeah, obviously there's other quarterbacks out there you can rely on.
Yes. That would be somebody you grab.
Yeah.
Because maybe. I mean, you want a backup for your quarterback just in case they die. So, you'd much rather have a Lamar or a Josh Allen or something versus a Shador, but could be fun.
Who's the other guy? Not J.J. McCarthy, but the other guy?
Oh, Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray. No, Kyler Murray is starting, isn't he?
Yes, he will be the starter for them. And historically, the last couple of years, he's taken a dip, but those running quarterbacks, because they get rushing touchdowns and rushing yards and stuff on top of normal quarterback stuff, they tend to be really big point getters. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kyler Murray take a huge soar and like actually be a pretty strong pick. Yeah. Probably not like one of the top few, but like a top 10 quarterback for fantasy.
Yeah, I feel like one of the no-brainers is probably Prescott, to be honest.
Yeah, Dak Prescott always is like right on the edge of being an MVP, so 100%. I think he was like top 3 for quarterback points last year, so yeah, definite no-brainer.
Yeah, if I go with a quarterback, it'd probably be Dak Prescott. What's his name? Purdy.
Oh, Brock Purdy?
Yeah, Brock Purdy. I don't know why. Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. I mean, the Bears are up.
Caleb Williams was a spiky one last year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the whole offense take a step forward. So I could definitely see him being I think last year I said I could see him being the MVP, and I still stand by that. So yeah, I definitely could see it.
The ones I wouldn't pick, it would probably be Hurts. I don't know. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't pick Hurts. I wouldn't pick Deshaun, obviously. You gotta go with Josh Allen, obviously. You can't. Josh Allen is probably the Holland of the NFL, because everybody loves him. He's Josh Allen. Is the Bills or Stafford?
Yeah,
I think those
two are going to be fantastic.
Those are going to be your top quarterbacks that are going to cost you a lot of space. I'm assuming, they have So
you don't have space, but you do have to draft them like a traditional football draft. So the good players tend to get picked up early, and then some of these like on the edge folks will just fall into free agency, and you can pick them up, but you do have a cap for how many players you can have on your team. Right. So you'll have X people playing and then like 5 on the bench or whatever. So you'll want to have some backup depth for injuries, or like this player doesn't have a game this week or whatever. And that's where some of these like more fringe picks come in really clutch.
Yeah, because I've seen the videos. They put like they get the board or whatever, and then everybody just kind of picks first come first serve pretty much.
It depends on your league. Some folks get real into it and do super fun stuff and all that. I know for mine, it's just straight up like an NFL draft. You get 2 minutes on the clock. We go down the list. It's based off of your rankings from the previous year. So it'll just go like whoever was in last first down until you get to whoever was in first, and then you go to the next round. So just straight up an NFL draft.
Okay, so chances are you probably won't get Josh Allen or...
Yeah, those are the folks that go real early. Like first round tends to be workhorse running backs, and then depending on your league, wide receivers, those like top end wide receivers, and then second round you start getting into, some people start grabbing their quarterbacks and stuff like that. For the really good ones, you don't grab your like Geno Smith at that point, but if you can grab a Josh Allen, you could grab him in the second round and feel okay with that. And then by like the third, fourth round, you're starting to get into like depth pieces a lot of the time.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I'll probably stick around like somewhere in the middle, not too crazy. Bears, 49ers. Who's doing good? Vikings. The Lions. I feel like they always.
Jared Goff's an interesting one. I feel like he's so spiky. Like he'll have games where he's phenomenal, and then games where he just like nothing really comes from it, and it's all running. So I don't know. That's an interesting one. I wouldn't get Jared Goff early.
Oh, I would pick up Brisket from Arizona.
Brisket? Yeah, Brisket's really tasty. Arizona, Texas. Yeah, just down south, barbecue is just different. Are you talking about a playoff?
Are we talking about football right now?
I thought you were just talking about food. Some
burnt ends, mac and cheese, ribs.
I guess a kind of hot take I have. So I had Puka last year. He was like the biggest point getter on my team, and he was, I think, one of the top few wide receivers up with like JSN for fantasy points. Yeah. I don't know that I would recommend taking him in like the first round, because he's having so much off the field nonsense right now.
Yeah.
That it just gives me a little bit of hesitation. Like second, third round, absolutely. I do think he's still going to be good this year, but we don't know if he's going to have some suspension for biting a woman. And he's continually doing dumb shit. It's been like it's not just like one or two instances. He's done like 5 dumb things in a row. He's getting kind of crazy, and he just got out of rehab. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see it's just not as good of a year. He is, I think, playing for a contract this season, so maybe that goes out the window and he plays his brains out. But I would just be a little hesitant. I wouldn't pick him up like super early on Puka, and I would hesitate to pick up damn near anyone on the Eagles offense right now, just because they were such a mess last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're still a bit of a mess. They didn't really do anything to fix like the personnel and coaching disagreements. They got rid of AJ Brown, so maybe everything's like sunshine and rainbows, but I just don't think like Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts are suddenly going to be back to what they were when they won the Super Bowl or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, wide receivers are tough. Probably pick up CeeDee Lamb.
I think CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens are both solid pickups.
Dude from the Colts, what's his name? Pierce?
Alec Pierce. Yeah.
Pierce.
Jonathan Taylor.
Cat
Nico Collins. I think you could probably depend on him a little more than last year. I feel like the offense will be overall better. So in theory, Nico Collins should have a bit of a better year. So that's some big ones. Any running back that has a buddy, I usually hesitate to take, and I feel like a lot more teams are going towards that 2 or 3 running back thing. Like the Chargers already announced that they're going to have like a 3 running back room that they're rotating through, so you just never know which one's going to carry the majority of the touches. At that point, like, you just can't rely on any of them, no matter how good any of them are. I think Omarion Hampton's a great running back, but if he's only getting like a handful of touches every game. It's just not worth it. So
yeah, they could switch up the plays on you. They could just throw more versus running it more.
Yeah,
or they could just you never know. Teams are always switching up plays, trying different things. I mean, and no, what's it called? All reliable. I mean, you can always go with pick your guy, and usually they do well. I feel like, but I feel like sometimes if they got that new guy, and I'll probably stick with like newer ish guys. I've kind of had some time. Older guys just kind of like
yeah. I mean, look at like
fade
Mike
away.
Evans, fantastic player, such a career, but if you picked him up early last year, he was injured most of the year. I think he's probably going to be injured again this year.
Yeah.
Like, just not someone you can fully depend on, you know?
Yeah, anybody injured, I'll probably skip.
Patrick Mahomes, I wouldn't recommend picking him up early. I know they're saying he'll start week 1, but even if he does, I don't know that he'll be the same quarterback. Like, that's just not someone I wouldn't name him as my top few QB. If he falls to like the 8th QB off the board, at that point, I feel like you can pretty confidently be like, you know what, I'll take some risk here and I'll grab him. But yeah, I wouldn't pick him over like obviously not a Josh Allen, a Lamar, all those kind of guys.
Pick up Aaron Rodgers. This
Don't.
last year, he's got the drive. He's gonna do well this year.
How about Jackson Dart? What do you think? You think he's gonna make it through all of his games this year?
I hope so. I mean, how many games did he play last year?
So they didn't start him for like 4 or 5, I think. He was backup while he was learning, and then he started after that. But then he played. He went like 3 games in a row, and then he was out for a couple with a concussion, and he went like 2 more games or something, and he was out with a concussion. So, I mean, if that trend continues, then you absolutely can't rely on him. But when he was healthy and playing, the majority of the time, he was like one of the highest scoring quarterbacks because he was rushing so much and putting his body on the line. But you don't want him to do that because then he's going to get injured. So it makes it really hard to depend on like him, Scatabo, like those guys that are just like really playing their heart out. But the injuries will take him out.
I say pick him up, but you're going to be sweating your butt off every game. You're like, yo, easy.
He was already in the blue tent in the preseason. So, like, do it at your own risk. And speaking of preseason opinions, that's TikTok. I did write down some notes about the Giants. We'll run them off real quick. I don't know if you got any notes about teams you watched in the preseason. Speaking of Scatabo, I noticed the Giants are running by committee. They didn't seem to let anybody rush the ball all that often. So I feel like that makes it questionable to pick up like a Scatabo early. Like I said, Dart was already in the tent, so be careful. The Giants' defense is still absolutely atrocious against the run. They did not fix that at all. And their offense was also messy. But I noticed some flashes. So we'll see if they like bring it together a little more. I feel like they were the same way last year. They had some flashes, but consistently they were not looking that great. Vikings look fantastic, honestly. The little bit that I watched of the Vikings, they looked so strong, both on offense and defense. J.J. McCarthy looked okay, but Kyler Murray I thought looked like confident and comfortable. So I feel like that's a great team to look at both for fantasy and to root for. And I just wrote down, bro, Jane Daniels, what have you done? Because of all the 5 stuff. Did you see everything going on with that? No. So his college that he played at, LSU, I don't think they ever formally told him that they were retiring his jersey number, but he kind of assumed that they were. He was a Heisman winner. He was really big over there. And then they gave the number 5 to a new player, and he freaked out and basically took out legal action against them so that they could not use his likeness for anything. So they can't use him to promote the school or the team or whatever. So, of course, the internet has torn him up, and they're like, well, you can't say the number 5 because Jane Daniels will come for you. So
that's crazy. I think I vaguely heard something about that.
Yeah.
That's funny. That of course, the internet is going to pick it up and run with it.
Every time. It's very much like it feels like his mom making the decisions for him, because based off of what I know about the dude, granted I don't know him personally, but like he always seems like a very chill, like nonchalant kind of guy. I just can't imagine him getting completely bent out of shape because they used his number. But I know that means a lot to some players, so for sure, if that's him, whatever, dude. But I don't think he was nearly as impactful as like Burrow was at LSU, and I don't think they retired his jersey either. Like colleges don't tend to do a ton of that. They just get a lot of players, and you only got so many numbers. Yeah. So you can't retire every jersey every time or something like that.
Yeah, then you start seeing numbers up in the hundreds.
Yeah, like what? It just gets ridiculous at a point.
I think I'm starting to see more of those. I'm like, whoa, 107, 110. I'm like, who are these guys? These are definitely reserves.
Like
he's a third, fourth string over here.
I would rather stick to the 99 to 0 than get crazy with the numbers. So if that means we retire less jerseys, when it's like a prolific legend for sure, but you just can't retire every number. He was a Heisman winner for sure, but there's a lot of guys that are Heisman winners, and I think only like 4 since 2000 had their jerseys retired or something. So it's just like, meh, I don't know. Yeah, it was a whole thing, though.
Yeah, if everybody started retiring their jerseys, bro, we're going to run out of that. We're going to start giving people letters. I mean, yeah, like I said, if it's a real, like, legend, then yeah, sure, retire it, hang it up in the school gym or whatever.
Hang it in the rafters.
I feel like I would like to pass it on to the upcoming generation, you know.
Look at like the number 88, you know, that for the Cowboys. They're just very selective about who gets it. And I think that's cool. You know, that's a good way to like not retire a number, but you get to like crack into it every season and like only give it to the player that is like worthy of the number or whatever. You know, I feel like that's a better way to handle it than just every number that had a good player. We'll just go ahead and retire that one. All right. Anything else about fantasy you want to talk about? I'll talk about fantasy for so long. I'm so excited.
Are you part of a fantasy?
I sure am. And we'll be starting a new fantasy league with you soon. Yeah. We're going to have our own fantasy league with all of our team here at the Crack a Cold Ones podcast, as well as our producer and some of our other friends. We'll get a little league going. I already play in a league with a bunch of family and friends. But yeah, it's just a fun way for me. I love football, but it can be hard sometimes to care about every game when it doesn't have to do with like teams that you care about. I love watching football, but if it's just like 2 teams that are dog shit, it's hard to watch and care. But when you have fantasy on the line and it's like, okay, I might not care how the Bengals do this year, but I want Jamar Chase to do really well, or I want, you know, such and such from whatever team that I don't actually like that much, but I really want this player to do well. I had CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens last season, so every Cowboys game I was locked in. I wanted him to absolutely thrive on offense because it was like, oh, that's how my team's going to thrive, you know? So I feel like it just helps appreciate the whole season instead of just your team or your few teams that you like.
Yeah, you should look at this dude's living room. It's already blue and silver all over.
Nope, take that back. No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I was a fan of 2 players, though. I almost picked up Dak Prescott, too, because I was like, this offense is going to go. But, hey.
Yeah, I find myself being fans of certain players. And whenever you're, like, cheering for certain players, you're like, whoa, you're a so-and-so fan? I was like, no, I just like this certain guy that plays. Like, I like CeeDee Lamb. I like how he plays. Doesn't mean I'm a huge huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I feel that. There are definitely players or even coaches. Like, I love Dan Campbell, so I love the Lions. I'm not a huge Lions fan, in all honesty, but I'll root for the team because I like the coach. I love Lamar Jackson, so I love the Ravens.
Of course.
There are definitely players that you get latched onto, even if they're not anything to do with, like the Texans are my team through and through, and that's the team I want to win no matter what. But there's some other teams where I'm like, you know, it's fun to watch them, and fantasy helps me find some others. I was really invested in Green Bay because I had Matthew Golden and Josh Jacobs, John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. So, you know, it's just cool stuff like that. But we'll get more into fantasy next week. We'll probably have our draft pretty soon here, so we'll get into the analytics, and I'll absolutely nerd out about the math of football.
Cool, can't wait.
Let's talk about some awards. way too early. Who's gonna be your award receiver for Coach of the Year?
Coach of the year, bro. He's been through it. I'm gonna give it to I don't know. I might take it back. Nah, I'm gonna say it. I'll give it to um what's his name? Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel.
He's been fucking through it.
He has been through it. He's been through her.
He lost his family. He lost his team. He lost his dignity. He lost
the team.
everything.
I think loves him. I think the team was just like, hell yeah, coach.
Yeah, his team is right behind him. Like, come on, come back, coach. We need you.
Yeah,
it's all good. All under the rug, water under the bridge. Stuff like that.
I respect that. He was pretty high in the voting this past year, so I respect that.
Yeah, but even and before that, I mean, I just don't see that, and it's like, oh,
I agree. I
throw everything away.
There's a lot of extracurriculars I'll have a big problem with, mostly when it's like it negatively impacts another person. Like, that's maybe not the best way to phrase it because this did negatively impact another person. When it involves like violence or just like being a bad human, but something like adultery, alleged. That's really none of my business in the first place, yes, it was bad for his family and his wife, and I'm not disregarding that in the slightest, but it's like, it just doesn't really have anything to do with me, and it's just not, I don't know, it's not as severe as like murder or something, or like assault, that we have worse crimes.
It's still tough. I'm pretty sure there's
for sure
plenty of Patriots fans out there that are hurt by it. And now they're getting shamed up and down because of what this guy does in his free time. Yeah. Even though we're over here we just want the football. We just want the trades, the fandom, the hoorays, the ups and downs. Like everything that comes with football is just great. But whenever their outside activities kind of leak into the football part, and it just makes everything messy, and then you just kind of have to distance yourself, and it sucks distancing yourself from your hometown or your city or the colors that you wear every day. I'm like, well, I can't wear this jersey anymore.
Yep,
type stuff
for sure. It's complicated, and I don't want to talk like I don't want to fully dismiss what he did. It's just for me personally, it's like we've got so much worse in the NFL that it's like, oh, that does not even hold a candle to what other players and coaches have done in the past. So it's like it is what it is, but I think for my coach of the year, I'm gonna give it to D'Amico Ryans because the Texans are gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't even need to knock. They're gonna do that.
They have to. It's this year.
I'll die if they don't. I have so much invested in this. But real talk, he has made it to the playoffs every year since he's been a coach. He has fully turned a team around in a lot of ways and produced like the strongest defense in the NFL currently, and like one of the best in all of the history of the NFL. I think he got a few votes this last year, but I think this is the year that he gets like full coach of the year status. Another award. Who is your offensive player of the year?
Offensive player. I was about to throw another controversial person out there, but no. Let me get back to you. You say yours first.
I'm gonna say Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions. I feel like we saw him fully unlocked last year, and Montgomery got way less touches, and Gibbs just went absolutely nuts. And now that Montgomery isn't even on the team anymore, in theory, he's going to get like actually pretty much all the touches. And I think he's just going to have like an absolute monster year. And look, his stats are going to be absurd. So I would say he's my front runner. Not a hot take really, but that's where I lean.
Can't really think of everybody. I can't really think of anybody right now. Let me just pick somebody just because. Damn, I can't even think of anybody. Who would you say is your second?
My second? I feel like my second would be a wide receiver. Who is my wide receiver that I think will be the best this year? George Pickens. I feel like it's going to be George Pickens would be my second pick. I don't know. We saw him really thriving. He's on a franchise tag, so it's a make it or break it year as far as like the financials. And I just feel like we really saw him break out. He did have some like attitude problems, as he kind of always does, and I love him for it. But I feel like knowing the context for everything and how much he's already grown, I could see that kind of getting put behind him, and him just having like an absolute nuts wide receiver year, especially with CeeDee Lamb. Like, he had some injuries last year, and he is starting to get older. I don't think he's going to be bad by any means, but I could see George Pickens kind of being their wide receiver one versus their like tandem wide receiver one thing that they did last year. I also just fucking love George Pickens. Do you want to just take mine for your Opie, or are you looking at are you looking at just random offensive players?
You know what? Yeah, I'll just take yours.
Fair.
For now.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. How many rookies are there? Bunch?
32 times 7 plus more. A whole lot. I mean, usually I feel like it goes to a quarterback, but that's not really going to happen this year, I feel like. I actually don't know who my rookie of the year would be. I don't think it's Jeremiah Love. Maybe a defensive player.
Jacob Thomas, Fernando Mendoza. What?
Who was the one that the Bucks picked up? And he snatched that hat off like a maniac. Middle of the round. Oh, golly gosh. Defensive player. Quick to Google. You've got your phone out.
The Bucks?
Yeah. Oh, God. Caden McDonald, maybe? No, I don't think it was him. Fuck. What was his name? Oh, it's going to bug me. It's important. That's my my rookie. Bucks draft 2026. Ruben Bain. I think Ruben Bain Jr. gets rookie of the year. He came out of that back room like a menace, like an absolute soldier from hell. I feel like he's gonna have a prove him wrong sort of season and just go absolutely nuts. That's my pick.
See, just because we're running out of time. No, we're not. Just I'm just gonna go with Mendoza.
If he ends up playing a bunch, I could see it. I just don't know how much play time he's gonna get. In theory, they want to give him a year. I feel like he's going to play during the season. It's just a question of how much. If they get knocked out of the playoffs early, I could see him playing a ton. But if they have a chance to go into the playoffs, I feel like you keep Kirk Cousins if it's working. So pending an injury, I don't think he's going to play like a ton of games. If he does, I could definitely see him getting rookie of the year, though. Defensive player of the year. I already picked one, I guess. I picked Ruben Bain Jr., but oh no, that's just for rookies. Defensive player of the year. I'm gonna keep sucking off the Texans and say Will Anderson Jr. The glaze is insane today. I've got so much more to give though. Who you got? You looking up defensive players?
Yeah, pretty much.
Say Derek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley. Can I go with Crosby?
Yeah. Oh, I could definitely see him having a hell of a year. He's pissed. I mean, the Ravens left him out to dry, so I could see him having a hell of a year.
Yeah, I could totally see. He has the attitude for it. I mean, being rejected isn't easy, but he's there as a mentor, as a veteran. Bro's ready.
Yeah, I could definitely see Crosby or Micah Parsons having like a comeback year and going really ham. And finally, your MVP. Who's your MVP for this upcoming year? Technically doesn't have to be a quarterback, but it always is.
I want to go with C.J. Stroud.
I respect you for it.
Brother is going to be MVP of the world. He has to.
He has to.
The planets are aligned. The dominoes are all set. Like, everything's there. He has the team. He has the coach, the staff. The fans are behind him.
I just still don't think he's going to have an MVP year. I'm hoping he takes a step closer to where he was at the rookies with that phenomenal start. I don't think he's going to have a full MVP year, though. I fucking wish. I hope. But MVP. I don't think it's Stafford again.
Brother from Patriots.
I could see Drake May, but I don't think they're going to do as well this year, so I don't think it'll be Drake May either. Yeah, I'll stick with my hot take from last year, and I'll say Caleb Williams. I could see Caleb Williams getting it. Breaks the curse, gets 4,000 yards with the Bears, first quarterback to ever do it, and just has a good year. I could definitely see him making MVP.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
And then we got one game to end it out. We just had our Disney collab. Speaking of, did you see all the Disney collab merch?
I seen most of them. I know I seen ours for the Texans.
And I'm pissed about it because I saw all over the internet we were supposed to get Spider-Man. And then what do we get? We get Jesse from Toy Story. That's not Spider-Man. And for the record, I didn't think Spider-Man made any sense for the Texans. He's from New York. I figured he'd be on a New York team, but whatever. I wanted Spider-Man.
I don't even think he got picked at all.
He didn't. The Giants got Wreck-It Ralph. Whatever. I'm not happy. But there were some cool ones. I think the Eagles have a really sick one. Dr. Doom with the cape looking like wings is so sick.
Yeah, at first I thought they weren't including the Marvel characters, but Vikings got Thor.
Yeah, Thor is another cool one. Like, a lot of them I think were very, very good. Some of them were just weird. Like
Chewbacca from Green Bay.
Yeah, Chewbacca from Green Bay. I was like, that's
just weird.
An interesting one. You could have done like Remy from Ratatouille, or just like anybody that has to do with cheese.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you could have done. There's a lot of them that could have been a little bit better. The Commanders just got like ham or pork or whatever his name is
ham.
from the. I don't get that one at all.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
But I think a lot of them were like super on the nose and were pretty fun. Captain America for the Patriots was sick. So a cool little collab. But for the game, Disney had their collab. Who do you think could be next? Who do you want on your team's apparel? The example he gives is Walter White on a Seahawks jersey or the poop emoji on Cleveland stuff. Incredible. I mean, I would love a poop emoji on some Browns gear that says like taking a Brown or taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
I think those exist.
Probably, but I want it straight from the Cleveland Browns.
Just an emoji collaboration.
Yes. Oh, that'd be magnificent. Cool collabs. I mean, Disney covers so much stuff that it makes it kind of hard to think of any other property that's ever existed. You got anything in mind?
Like, what would they collab with? They could. I was thinking about this in the car. They could collab with Pokemon.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
There's plenty of them to pick from. I mean, but not everybody has an animal mascot, so I don't know what would the Commanders be. And I don't think they would. I mean, there's plenty of them that would fit like the color scheme and all that, but I don't. But they would want like known Pokemon to like fit. Like Pikachu's probably gonna be the Chargers.
Yeah, 100%.
Or some electric Pokemon like Zapdos, or Pikachu would probably be the famous one to slap on.
I could.
Chargers.
You know what? I don't know that I could.
Unless he's too popular, then they'll probably.
Yeah, I don't know about full Pokemon, but what if they do a Nintendo collab? You know, like a Super Smash sort of thing where it's just like anybody Nintendo, or hell, we'll just throw other people in there. I think that could be super rad. You get your Marios, your Link, Zelda, all of that stuff. Like, it opens the door to enough things. I don't think you have to stretch. Because Pokemon, I do think a couple of teams would just be like, I don't know, throw like the bag of keys one or the trash bag or whatever. The Cleveland Browns, give them the trash bag.
Give them Muck.
Oh my God, give them Muck. Yeah, I could mess with Nintendo. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, Nintendo would be cool.
Obviously, we just did Marvel, kind of, but you could do just DC and have like a Superman and a Batman and all that. I don't know that it attaches as well, though. Like, yeah, I don't know who Batman for the Ravens or something. Like, some of them get a little weird, even though we have literally Raven for DC. So I guess Raven for Ravens.
Or just like a comic in general, because there's some wacky comic book heroes or characters that could be used. Like like Ravens for
the
Ravens. For
yeah,
the Ravens.
you could get super on the nose about it. You could do Robin for the Cardinals and some stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
You can
Batman.
do Magic the Gathering. Since Magic has collabed with Marvel and Disney, they're right there. They're 2 doors down.
Birds of Paradise for the Seahawks.
That would be. It's got to go both ways, though. I want a Magic set that is a bunch of football players, so I can be like, I'm gonna play Will Anderson Jr. And you're like, oh, you can't attack because I have Aaron Rodgers on the board. That'd be something else. But yeah, I think that's the only stuff that comes to mind immediately. Like, you need a property that has a ton of stuff in it, so you can encapsulate all of the teams. You know.
Yeah, I mean Disney is a good start. I mean,
yeah, Disney's a great pick because it's just everything: Star Wars, Marvel, all the Disney movies, Pixar, all that stuff.
I guess they could do like different like shows, like from The Office or those crazy shows that they have on on the television. Yeah,
Breaking Bad collab would be truly nuts and be unhinged.
Say my name.
Somebody would get just a hat. I feel like there's not enough characters, so someone's just gonna be like Heisenberg's hat with the mustache or something, and someone else will be Walter White.
Let's just be like the hat, the goatee. Gus. Who would get Gus? There's no chicken.
Since there's no chicken, we don't have a New Mexico team either.
We don't have a New Mexico team.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know how you tie in most of these characters to a team.
Like Jesse would go to like what? I don't know.
Who gets just a pile of blue meth? What team is associated? I guess just a blue team. The Chargers for blue meth. It's just a pile of meth.
Just blue crystal in a pile.
And they're getting away from gun violence, but we just see one team gets like a gun shirt, and then it's like all they could come up with, like gun from Breaking Bad. I don't know, but we'll see. Now that they've opened the door for this, I could see them doing a bunch more. Not a bunch, but I think we could see like a collab like this every year or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of doors out there that could be open to see what. I mean, they're doing collabs all the time. Like
Fortnite gets a collab every week, basically.
Oh yeah, they do Fortnite. They could do Street Fighter for the movie.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, do like fighting games.
Yeah, imagine Texans with the Ryu head on there or something.
My God.
With the Hadouken for the. Yeah, they could give everybody a character, or it doesn't necessarily have to fit. It could just be like, oh.
Yeah, they've already shown that not all of these are going to fit perfectly, but I feel like you got to at least hit like the color scheme or the vibe or something, and then it's like, good enough. You know? Even if it's not like we picked a yellow or a thing that's the same name or like a super similar vibe. Some of the ones for this Disney collab, it's like, oh, obviously Woody is for the Cowboys, or whatever the hell. But yeah, I don't think it has to be that on the nose every time.
Oh, they could do anime. The Dodgers did that One Piece collab.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do One Piece, Naruto,
Buccaneers, for
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z would go insane. I feel like that would be ginormous.
That would be sick.
Just the crossing of streams when it comes to like two giant fan bases that are usually fairly aligned anyway. Like, oh yeah, it would go absolutely nuts.
Oh, let's do a Nickelodeon collab or a Cartoon Network one.
Oh my God, just a bunch of cartoons. Who gets Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I was just thinking, like, who gets the pink dog?
The Browns.
The Browns.
It's the doghouse.
Oh yeah, they are in the doghouse. Me Oreo.
I think that's about it for me, Big Dog. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I think we pretty much covered everything this week. I know we didn't catch everything. I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
I'm sure there was some other news. We're kind of winding back up, so this one's a little more loosey-goosey. I think next week we'll do a bigger focus on like our thoughts on the teams going into the season, and some deep diving, some fantasy stuff and things like that. And then once we get into the season proper, we'll start having a lot more structure when it comes to like talking about all the games and the slates and doing some predictions and things like that every week. But I mean, right now the games don't matter. We're really looking at like how certain players are performing or how new coaches are in the position and stuff like that. So there's only so much to talk about with the games. But I'm excited to be here with y'all. I love football. Welcome back, football. I missed you. Jaime, say something. Give me a prophecy.
Give you a prophecy?
Yeah, I think we're going to end every episode of this with you giving me a prophecy from here on out. It can be about anything.
Let's see, a prophecy. A flash of red and blue is in your near future.
You know what? I think he's right. I've been guy number 1, Grayson.
I'm big guy number 2, Jaime.
And this is the Cracking a Cold One podcast. Thanks for cracking with us, and we'll see you next time. Mwah, kisses. I love you so much.
Kisses. Bye. Watch football. Otherwise, you're not fair. Comment below. Like. Love y'all.